Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
So I was still pretty raw from that, but I don't know. It's just like I had a lot of monotony, and then that happened, and basically this was going to be like the unexpected like high point of to look forward to, and man, it delivered. I felt like a little kid again.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Todd Hoffman, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 47. Today, we're going to look back at The Force Awakens. Joining me today is Aaron Hulian.
Always a pleasure.
It is, sir. It is. And we got two very special guests with us tonight from Kessel Run Weekly, Heather Houston and Danny White.
Hello.
Welcome. We're glad to have you on here.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Todd, this is our first cross-podcast pollination, if you want to put it that way.
Ooh, pollination, huh?
Collaboration.
We're cross-potting. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yeah. So, ladies first. Heather, how are you? How did you get into Star Wars? Let's start there.
I have a husband that does Star Wars, and I was one of those girls that had the geek parents that swore I would never be a geek because it just couldn't be my parents. And so...
And look at you now.
I know. I was 18, and my boyfriend at the time said, "You've never seen Star Wars?" And I said, no. And so we watched Star Wars for the very first time when I was 18.
A New Hope, I hope.
A New Hope, yes.
Yes, good.
Excellent.
So, Danny, I'm going to ask you the same question. How did you get into Star Wars?
Mine has actually been a life journey. No, I mean, as long as I can remember, I've always been into Star Wars. I mean, I remember sitting down with my parents and watching A New Hope, obviously the first. And then going through those trilogies, just like, I mean, I was the kid who ran around with like sticks, acting like a Jedi and all that. Super into it. And then I finally got to see my first Star Wars movie in film or in the theaters rather, with The Phantom Menace, which was, I'll never forget it. I never forget Darth Maul on the screen and that huge final battle and everything. It was just absolutely incredible. I can't remember a time without Star Wars, to be honest with you.
Honestly,
that's probably a good place to be in.
Right. It's been a good life.
Excellent.
Very cool. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Kessel Run Weekly?
Sure. Heather, you want me to take this, or you take this, or?
It's up to you. Kessel Run Weekly, we try to keep it family appropriate. And we take a topic and we dissect it. We're story centric, and we have started Smuggler Stash, which is comics and news and things. But for the most part, we dig into canon and we try to really get into the story and the characters.
Definitely. And we actually started just shortly before actually the Road to celebration, basically, where I kind of started this as like a 5-minute thing for another podcast I was working with, just kind of a news at the end of the week kind of thing. And it just started snowballing from there with Rebels. Heather joined me on one of the episodes, and then from there it was how it's always been.
Yeah, he sent me a clip of his very first episode to critique, and I was like, dude, you've got great content, but you need somebody to talk to.
So, Danny, what did you think of that? Well, Danny, let me tell you this.
Conversations got confusing sometimes. I don't know.
Right.
Did you have like a light side and dark side, Danny?
Oh, always.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Well, that's great. Well, we're happy to have you on. So really appreciate it.
We're happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. All right, listeners, once again, you can check us out on social media at WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, on to our main topic for tonight. We are going to do some world building first, but we're going to talk about The Force Awakens. We are slowly approaching the 2-year anniversary of Force Awakens. So way back when, in a galaxy far, far away, on October 30th, 2012, this is the day the Earth stood still, and Disney bought Lucasfilm for, a cool $4 billion. So
chump change.
So Georgie got like $2 billion in cash and then like $2 billion in Disney stock. So he's pretty much set. So fast forward a little bit, and then on that day they dropped the news. They said, we're making new Star Wars films. So we're like, okay, that's cool. And then January 27th, 2013, they announced that J.J. Abrams will direct Episode 7. So, right. And then fast forward a little bit after that, in October, they had Michael Ardent, who was basically wrote Toy Story 3, and he was basically in charge of Episode 7, and they said, he's not cutting it. We're going to bring in Lawrence Kasdan, and Abrams are going to take over as the writing duo for Episode 7. And then,
now, if I recall correctly,
yeah.
If I recall correctly, Michael Arndt was working on it for like 7 months, and he's like,
"Yes,
I need like 8 more months to finish this." And so they kicked him to the curb, and then Abrams and Kasdan finished it in like 3 weeks, something like
pretty
that.
Much. Yeah,
like,
yeah, pretty much.
You're taking too long. Get out of here.
That's when you guys meant to be.
Right. No, he was taking too much time. Basically, they're like, we need this like done this century. So they kicked him to the curb. So then, pretty much like 2 weeks after that, November 7th, 2013, they said, okay, guys, it's going to be December 18th, 2015. So that was the release date for Force Awakens. And of course, this was polar opposite to literally and figuratively, because usually we do it in May after George's birthday. So, the six films have always been in May, and this was the first one that they did December 18th. And part of that was because of all the behind the scenes stuff. They actually need a little bit more time. So we're like, you know what? December's nice, so.
It's a good Christmas present.
It is. Yes. Now we like it. Now it's like, wait a minute. Yeah. It's like,
well, my cynical self would say that Disney is like, oh, everybody's in a spendy kind of mood. Let's put our biggest film there.
Right. Exactly. So, newsflash, it did very well in the box office. So
a little bit.
Just a little bit. So according to Box Office Mojo, The Force Awakens holds over 40 box office records. So it's like, the biggest domestic grossing, the fastest thing in 10 days, fastest December movie, all these kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, it basically almost took down the Titanic and made like $2 billion.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's like half their investment back already.
Yes, exactly. So why don't we go around the horn? So Heather, what were you doing around The Force Awakens?
I was watching it. No, my kids and I and my husband, we watch Star Wars every day almost. And this is before Podcast Land. But then I was terrified and I went completely off social media because I couldn't actually go to the movie for like 4 days. So I went off of social media and sat here with books for 4 days until I could go see the movie.
Wow, that's hardcore.
That's hardcore.
Because
yeah.
I live in a teeny tiny little area, and the theater that's 30 minutes down the road is your feet stick to the floor. So
nice.
Yeah, I tend not to go unless it's like to see Minions or something. And so but this time I'm going to IMAX in Alabama.
Yes. We were actually getting to meet in person for the first time. Whilst
wait. Hold on. So you've been podcasting for how long?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months. Okay. And you've never met each other physically?
No.
Right.
And is this the only
cool.
IMAX in Alabama?
It is not.
Okay. Let's clear that up.
No, but it's the big one.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Awesome.
There's true IMAX and there's Limax.
So Heather, you kind of just you took off social media. You're like, okay, I gotta wait until I'm gonna go see the movie, and then you finally saw the movie.
Yes, I do not do spoilers, and so I was very adamant that I not see anything.
Right, exactly. Cool. Danny, what were you doing at the time at The Force Awakens?
Well, I am not really opposed to spoilers, so I was watching every single TV spot there was. So, but no, I mean, I saw all the TV spots and everything, and I love that, like, even though I joked earlier about how Disney likes to give away everything in the trailers, with Star Wars, I feel like they've done a really good job of not doing that. Because, I mean, even though there was a lot, there's still not as much as you would think. But I mean, I actually got to see it at the Birmingham McWane Center, where it's like the Dome IMAX. So it was like I was literally like in the movie. Granted, I watched it like 20 more times after that, but I went with my family and everything. There was a 501st Troop that was there. It was really cool. But yeah, it was the huge dome. So like as like TIE fighters are flying by, you're literally like your head's following them from right to left and everything. It's just it's really cool. But no, I mean it's a family affair with my family. So,
yeah. Cool. Aaron, where were you?
I wasn't with you. That was a mistake. But mistake number. Well, we didn't. That's for later. When I saw it for the first time, it was at the my preferred movie palace, the Hollywood Palms over in Naperville. Maybe Aurora, depending on where you draw the boundary lines. But anyway, right. Super great themed theater. They've got movie props and old posters everywhere. They serve alcohol, which is nice, and they got really comfy reclining chairs. So went there. Cool. I believe I was with my buddy Max and my brother. And well, it was cool. They had some 501st folk there, so maybe 6 or 7 stormtroopers and Vader, and I believe Boba Fett. And they actually had a local middle school orchestra playing like Star Wars music while you waited for the theater to open up. And they were all in Jedi robes, and they put like blacklight glow material on their bowstrings. So it looks like they were like playing with lightsabers. It was really cool.
Killer. That's awesome.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And then they had a reel of old Star Wars like TV spots and commercials and stuff from like the 70s and 80s playing in the lobby, and it was super cool. And then later I saw it with you, Todd, and I'll let you take that one.
Oh, right. Where we traveled
to a galaxy far, far away. Yeah.
So we basically it was me, Aaron, and our buddy Rutch, and we went to Indiana, actually Indianapolis, because they were showing it in 70 millimeter.
Yeah.
So
70 millimeter true IMAX.
True IMAX. So none of this like none of this compressed garbage. So we're like, we're gonna go do it, and we did, and yeah, it was super fun. It was super fun, but then we forgot the time change.
Yeah,
and
we were on the way there, and we're like, okay, we're gonna plan it out. We're gonna arrive like an hour early, get to settle in, grab some lunch, use the bathroom, all that.
Yeah.
And we're driving, and we cross the state line, and we make a double check on our phones, and we're like, what time is it? Oh
no.
Yeah. So we didn't miss any of the film. Like, it just started. We're like, we could do this, So
yeah, we walked in and the title was crawling up. So we barely made it.
We no pun intended. We made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Did I work the night before? That was when I was doing security.
Yeah, no, you slept on the way back. Remember?
Yeah. So I was very tired. I had used the bathroom the entire time. I was very grumpy, but it was a very good experience.
Yeah, it was well worth it. Yeah, so that was one of, I wanted to go see Force Awakens 7 times because it's episode 7. I made it 6 times.
And we made the
I was able to do, and that was my 5th time with you guys. So,
dang, dude.
Yeah, it was a good run. It was a good run. I saw it like 4 times. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So,
jeez, dude. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I took a little break and then saw it with you guys and that kind of thing. But it was super cool. Like that opening night, I got interviewed by the local paper, and my mug showed up on the front page on Sunday. So I was like,
what were you interviewed for?
I was interviewed because I'm a Star Wars fan, and I have lots of Star Wars stuff. So, like, connection through my mom. There was like a local journalist, like, looking for local Star Wars fans, and so they came to my house that day, like Thursday, that day when I'm gonna go see Force Awakens, and did an interview and did all the stuff. They took a bunch of pictures, and then I was in the paper on Sunday. So it was a very surreal, like, super fast, like, everything's moving fast. I'm like, oh, we waited 10 years and it's like, here it comes, so it was a lot of fun. So, but yeah, so what about, okay, so Heather, how about, what were your overall impressions about the film itself?
I don't have the base that everyone else has in, like, the original trilogy, from the 70s, having decades of love for the franchise. So I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's always nice to enjoy things.
Yeah. And I have a tendency to fear saying that I enjoyed a Star Wars movie sometimes because some people can be
Hey, we're fanboys, but we don't have a
Star Wars
hate.
podcast.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. We should all love each other.
No,
we
are
the world.
We are the people.
But no, I really enjoyed it, and I liked that there was a female character that had underwear on, and that there were the main character of the entire saga didn't say a word, and there were things about it that other people hated that I just loved.
Cool. Can you give us one example of somebody, regular hates, but you really liked it?
I really liked, my favorite part of the movie, and most people think this is weird, but was when they're being attacked on Jakku with the TIE fighters, and Finn gets knocked out, and he's totally knocked out, and Rey's trying to wake him up. So she wakes him up, and he goes, "Are you okay?" And the look on her face is annoyance in the movie, but in the book, she's never had anybody ever ask her that before, or even care about her for even a moment. So that was the moment that her world changed. And so to me, that moment in the movie is my favorite.
Oh,
very interesting.
Yeah, it's a good perspective, a fresh one. I like those. Danny, what about you? What about overall impressions of the movie?
Well, I mean, again, I saw it in the IMAX dome in the McWane Center, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby with Han, the Han scene with Kylo and everything. Man. Like at
what?
Well, and what was funny too is that my my
yeah,
fiance
you'd
at
even
the time,
seen it.
Yeah, so I'd even seen it right before technically. All I saw was somebody had posted on Twitter and almost ruined it for me, but posted it on Twitter a little like a screenshot. And all I saw was Han kind of making that face and like red lighting.
What?
And so I didn't know,
hold on.
but at the same time,
No. I got to stop you right there. What are you doing? Looking at your phone when you're gonna watch the movie? Come on, Danny. That's like,
yep.
Yes.
You done messed up.
I done messed up. You're right.
Yeah.
And see, that right there is why I turned off all of my social media for 4 days.
I learned.
Yeah, I didn't do like a Heather like 4-day like sabbatical, but I was on a 24-hour nothing on the phone. Like I'm not touching that thing. You can't be looking at your phone.
Well, no, and see, it was misleading though because it was a friend of mine tweeted who hadn't tweeted in quite some time. So that's where I was like, oh, there's this trust. So mind you, that's never happening again. But
oh man, unfollowed.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, as far as overall impressions, like I mean, like even knowing the little that I knew, which I mean wasn't very much. Like I got emotional with the Chewie were home, getting to see the Falcon again. Like all of like the whole thing just brought back my entire childhood, and I absolutely loved it. I know that there were people that were like, "Oh, it's a New Hope remake." I got that feeling while I was watching it, but I didn't care, to be honest, because I mean it was the start of a trilogy. I mean, to me, that's a start of a Star Wars film. It's gonna have those same themes. So I didn't mind it as much. I was just like, cool, this is all new, and I never thought I'd get this in my lifetime. So,
right, yeah. Aaron, what about you, man?
So, I was just, even if it was going to suck, I was happy that it was just more Star Wars.
Right.
But oh man, the hype was real. I didn't follow like everything about the movie, but it was something I was very much looking forward to. I'm trying to think what frame of mind I was in at the time.
Are you saying like sarcastic or cynical?
No,
or
well, so we're not podcasting at this time, so I'm not like going into it to be all critical or whatever.
Yes.
I was, let's see, at this time, I was working full time, looking to go to school eventually, and this released like December 15th-ish of 2015.
Yeah, 18th. Yeah, so it's 2 years
actually,
ago.
Yeah, this was right after my mom passed away, actually.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So I was still pretty raw from that, but it. So like, I don't know. It's just like I had a lot of monotony, and then that happened, and basically this was going to be like the unexpected like high point of to look forward to, and.
Right.
Man, it delivered. I felt like a little kid again. It brought me back to when I first discovered the VHS tapes of the original trilogy and watched them all through. Probably in one day, maybe two, but
right.
And
hey, dude, like, you were streaming. You were doing Netflix before Netflix was popular, bro.
Oh,
you were like
old school.
Yeah. Old school. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like it just felt like being taken on an adventure again, and that was what drew me to Star Wars to begin with. I felt like I just forgot everything about this world and was being whisked away on a whirlwind adventure, and so this movie managed to evoke that in me, and it's pretty rare for movies to actually like affect me these days, just because like I've seen enough of them that, and the Hollywood remake problem that we have, that it's very formulaic and predictable at times. But so I kind of like what Danny said. I didn't really care that it was basically a soft reboot, and going a lot of points, basically mimicking a lot of points that A New Hope did. I didn't really care because it made me feel something again. I was off on a galactic adventure, and that was wonderful. And even after I think I saw it 4 or 5 times, it was still pretty fresh. So yeah,
that's a good description, my friend.
What about you, Todd?
So I've basically been, Star Wars has been my life since I've been 5. So I have a lot of history. So, going into it, I really did have an open mind, and I lived through the release of, Phantom Menace, and that hype was real, super real, and obviously very disappointing after that. So I was trying to level set with the 10-year gap. And, like you guys said before, it's like, I wasn't even expecting episode 7, and I've been dreaming about, like what would happen after Return of the Jedi. And so getting that opportunity again is like super exciting as a fan. And, I was kind of there, as soon as this started, I'm like, this is kind of like A New Hope, and, but I mean, I loved it. I think it's, I really liked the actors, the new ones. I loved Daisy Ridley as Rey, and John Boyega as Finn. I thought they did an excellent job. And, and I was the same thing with Danny. Like I knew the plot. I knew the plot before it even happened. And,
were you spoiled?
Well, it was supposed to open up with Luke's frozen hand holding a lightsaber. That was like on a lot of different scripts before it materialized into the film, and I was expecting them. Like,
I did not know that.
Yes,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was supposed to open up like Luke's hand in space.
Whoa, like he's super dead.
Well, his hand's super dead.
I see.
It's super frozen, and then it drops down, and the lightsaber is then found by Maz, and then or somebody finds it, and somehow it gets into Maz's hands, But yeah, I mean, I knew, I had a pretty good idea what was going to happen, but that was just based on, a bunch of internet drafts, and you never know what's real and what's not. But I mean, overall, it looked like a Star Wars film. It felt like a Star Wars film. And,
did it quack like a Star Wars film? Though?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm pretty sure it was a duck, but
yeah.
Let's piece this together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, actually, the moment that really sealed it for me is obviously John Williams' score and Rey's theme when she's sliding down the hill at the beginning. I'm just like, yep, I'm in. Oh
man, yes.
I
loved it.
Absolutely.
I'm in. I'm just like, yep, I'm in. Let's do this. And after that, I mean, like Aaron said, I mean, it's a great adventure. There's so many great points. I mean, it is a little rehashed, but at the end of the day, it got the band back together, and I am super excited. What's on the horizon, because we're like 30 days out from The Last Jedi. So yeah.
I can't wait. And it's funny because it really is bookends, because the beginning of the film, I really like Rey's theme, and then at the end, when Rey's walking up the steps and the music changes, I'm like, yep, that's when I lost my mind, because I knew, I knew, kind of going into it, I didn't think Luke didn't have a big part, but I didn't know it was that small. Like, I felt like Luke was the end game the whole time, but I didn't think it was going to be like that
short of a, like literally cliffhanger at the end. I'm like, Luke's gonna show up sometime. Like, and even Mark Hamill has said this before. Like, he thought he was gonna show up in the forest. Like when the lightsaber, flies through the air. It's gonna be Luke. Because I really wish they had Luke, Leia, and Han together. I thought that was a missed opportunity. And I also thought like Chewie not hugging Leia was a missed opportunity at the end too. When they got off the ship. But anyways, I really just love the theme at the end when they and Luke's there on the hill. I'm just like, I'm crying. I'm like, this is amazing. This is the best. This is the best. So yeah, I thought it was good. It was good, and so did other people because we spent $2 billion to watch it. So yeah.
Well, it's funny though because you can spend $2 billion on something and then still say how horrible it is.
That's true.
Well, that's just fandom.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at like I would even pick like Fast and Furious. Okay, they got a formula. It ain't broken. They're gonna make it because the studio is making a ton of money, and they got 8 in the hopper, and they're gonna keep on going. And
yeah, because they just people keep going. So
yeah, exactly. And so I think Star Wars obviously is a little bit more broader and has definitely niches in that. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, Star Wars fans like to hate a lot of things. And we're with you guys. We're just like, what? Yeah. There's going to be we want to be critical because we want to make it better. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
yeah,
if you told me, we have another Heather that's our friend. She loves Ewoks. I hate Ewoks, but that's okay. that was her gateway drug, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm fine.
I have an
with
Ewok
that.
shirt, my little murder machine shirt.
Nice. Yeah. So like I'm just happy. Like whatever's you're in, like the more the merrier. I don't care how you got into Star Wars. I just I think it enriches like. Again, like whatever your vice is, if you like reading or if you like video games, I don't care, as long as you can, enjoy it. I think that's
what I love about Star Wars is it's, cross-platform. It's you can movies and books and comics and games and fans. And I love that. Yes, there's some grumbling and I joke about fans and stuff, but honestly, we can sit here and we can talk for hours about something that never actually happened like it happened. And that's what I love.
Absolutely. It's magic.
It's magical. Yeah. It's the Force. So now that we just loved The Force Awakens, I thought it would be good. I found this on on grunge.com, and I thought this would be a good thing to talk about. And it's the top dumb things that are in The Force Awakens.
Yes. Let's tear it apart.
Let's tear it apart. Okay. So first, how exactly did Han lose the Millennium Falcon?
Gambling, probably.
I thought someone stole it.
I mean, in the film, yeah. In the film, he says he lost it. But how do you lose your ship?
Well, Todd.
Right.
Well, the reason I say that, have you ever read Shadows of the Empire?
I have not.
No.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so there's a character in there named Dash Rendar, and Han actually loses the Falcon to him in like a gambling thing. So a gambling exchange. So that's why I think there's it's not canon anymore, but that's why I think there's precedence knowing Han for who he is. Yeah. That he'd be able to lose the Falcon like that.
All right. So he put it on black and he put the Falcon on there. So yeah.
Yep.
All right.
House always wins.
House always wins. That's right.
Well, isn't that how he got the Millennium Falcon?
I mean,
yeah, he got it from Lando, so that's how.
Yeah,
he got
gambling,
it.
right? I thought it was a bet of
Sabak. Yeah. All right. So next one. How can Rey understand Chewbacca?
Same way she can understand BB-8. She's magic.
There you go.
Right.
Well, Jakku has a very extensive, linguistic school. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Distance learning.
Right.
And apparently a bunch of astromechs, because that's what BB-8 is. He's upgraded astromech. So apparently she can understand him and Chewbacca. Because Finn, who was brought up in the First Order, doesn't understand Wookiee.
Well, you don't need to, specialize in cross-cultural communication to shoot people.
to throw trash away.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's at least plausible.
But I kind of I love finding these weird, dumb loopholes and making dumber reasons why they work.
That's the entire reason, like, Star Wars Legends is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So I think that that is probably one of Rey's Force abilities, is that she can understand languages that don't necessarily.
Oh,
there you go.
I like it.
Very intriguing.
Okay, this one, I'm on board with. Okay, so Han has never used Chewie's bowcaster in 40 years.
Yeah.
I can see that happening, though, for real. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Chewie's not exactly the sharing type. So. We're talking about don't let the Wookiee win. I mean, I don't see him being like, you know what, kid? I'm going to let you play with my bowcaster. So.
Oh, my.
But it's like in that sequence when they're in Tokodana, like, he's using it like every other time. He's like, hey, let me pop this guy. Like, it's just, it's like, it just seems weird, like, he has.
I guess I got the impression that he had used it before, but every time he uses it, because it's very rare, the force behind it just blows him away to a point where he just can't contain his excitement.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's somewhat plausible.
Or he has like, she is really good at this. Like, also, maybe it was like a bad YouTube clip, like where Han was like setting up for some target practice, and like he flew backwards, and he's like, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
Hits his face. Yeah.
All right, this one's a little dicey. Okay, Rey picks up the Force way too easily.
Yes.
But so did Anakin. When he does the podcaster, pod racing podcaster,
right,
my goodness,
we're podcasters, we're podcasters.
Pod
Very important
racing. I have like so many things going through my head. Anyway, so pod racing, he uses the Force, and his reflexes is actually using the Force to do it, and he can make things happen that are, out there and everything. And if she would have been discovered earlier, she would have been able to pick it up too. But I think that maybe her lineage has something to do with it. Maybe she was also created via midichlorians or whatever.
Oh, don't go there.
No.
See, I don't like midichlorians.
No, Heather, no.
It's part of the story.
But we don't want it to be.
I know.
Oh man.
But however there's no father with Anakin, maybe there's no father with Rey either. Who knows?
Until The Last Jedi comes out, we won't know.
We won't know.
30 days we'll find out. We'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see.
I'm so excited.
We'll see if Heather's right.
Heather is not right. Do not say Heather is right, because she's never right.
Okay.
Give you a call middle of the night. You were wrong.
Don't give me that responsibility.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah, I think. I mean, it's an awakening. You know, Kylo pushes her, and she finds that she's always had that inner strength, and I think she finds it in that interrogation. You know, yeah, and it's very possible that she's had it all the time, but didn't really like channel it. You know, so
maybe it's like how some people can just like they naturally like lucid dream every night, and they're just like, what? Like everybody can do this, right? No, they can't.
Right? Yeah.
I thought that when I was younger.
Oh, come on! This is not fair.
So people were like, said something about dreaming in black and white and blah blah blah, and I was like, huh?
Right. Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, next one is very similar. Rey should be too old to learn to be a Jedi.
Oh, so Heather's definitely going to have some feelings on this one.
Go for
I've
it.
taken them all. Y'all take.
Right, yeah.
So for this one, I mean, I guess I'll take this one. So, I mean, as far as to learn to be a Jedi, the Jedi didn't work to begin with. Heather will back me up on that too. So, I mean, as far as like learning to be a Jedi, I don't think that's her stipulation right now. I think it's more of learning to deal and hone this gift, ability, curse, however she looks at it, that she's been given. So it's more of the Force wielder type that I see her as, more than, hey, she's going to be a Jedi. And so I think the whole textbook Jedi thing sends her on her journey to Luke. But I think that maybe we're going to see something like that in The Last Jedi where he says the Jedi need to end. He's come to some realization where he's learned what's happened or what the Jedi have actually done or what they have actually become. And so I think that's going to be a big turn in her story. But, I mean, as far as too old, I mean, by Mace Windu and Yoda's standards, absolutely. But
right.
Where are they? So, I mean, there's that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey. Too soon. Right.
Yeah, she's definitely too old for the Jedi Temple's curriculum. But too old to be an effective warrior of the Force? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I guess we'll find out in The Last Jedi.
You can learn to utilize the Force as a tool to be used by you or through you or whatever. You don't have to be a Jedi.
You just have to have midichlorians. That's all.
Yeah, midichlorians. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everybody has midichlorians.
Right. All right. Next up. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's like the chocolate chip with the raisins or something. But anyways, the midichlorians with the Force. So
yeah,
right. Exactly. Yeah. It's only been 30 years. So how has Luke Skywalker become a myth?
So I'll take this one. So we're all well aware of how in the modern internet era, how quickly disinformation can become spread.
Exactly.
And how it's hard to know what to believe anymore. Magnify that on a galactic scale and have the full might of the Imperial propaganda machine behind it. And it becomes a bit more believable.
Well, and if you consider what Luke Skywalker has actually done in canon, like through the saga, all the book, everything, would you think he was a legend?
Yeah, he's a little too good. I mean, blowing up. I
wouldn't think that he
Star.
would. Yeah, that this mythical figure was real.
Well, I mean, all of the crazy actions that he's performed. I mean, you tell me that one man blew up the Death Star, and then one man went face to face with Vader and took down the Emperor and all this other stuff. I mean, like, I could definitely see that becoming myth. Like, I mean, depending on how active the rumor mill gets, I mean, he could even be looked at something close to a god of some kind.
Or like fanatic delusions of a fringe terrorist cell.
Yeah.
Just to...
Oh, no.
Rebel
I was
propaganda.
thinking Paul Bunyan. I was going in a totally different direction.
Or just like a war hero that, may or may not have done all the things that they've done.
Exactly.
I'm thinking of like in World War II, I believe there's like a Russian war hero called Finnish, called like the White Death. And he was like a sniper who supposedly racked up like 500 kills, which is insane by any measure. But it's like, how do you confirm those? And was this guy real? And you don't really know. And that was only 70 years ago. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, I think part of it too is that he drops off. He doesn't. He leaves. Yeah. So that's part of. He's not active in the the Republic or the Resistance. So. And he's missed. So I think part of it is kind of, if you're not around, things don't always stay the way they are, so, and if he's not there to back it up or, I was there, I was the one that took down the Death Star, it kind of goes away, a little bit.
And this is also Jakku we're talking about. It's out in the Outer Rim.
Exactly.
Far away from any of the action. So maybe they barely even knew that a war was on,
Well, they have the ships to prove it, my friend. So there was a war.
That's true. I forget the Battle of Jakku. That's absolutely correct.
Right. Yeah. They know that there was rebels in there was rebels in Empire for sure. All right. Maz Kanata just doesn't really fit. So what do you think about that?
I want to know what the reason that they used that she doesn't fit.
Yeah, I didn't pull all the content behind it, but I think it's because she's kind of like Yoda, but without the Force to back it up,
Well,
she said she
wasn't a Jedi, but she was familiar with the Force, but she wasn't a Jedi. That's what she said herself.
Correct.
What that means, who knows?
Well, I did a fanfic about this one. I did the initial first chapter of it. So to me, Maz has, seen millennia. She's seen the rise and fall. She's seen it all. And so she's seen the Force in action. She's been around. She's ancient. Snoke is ancient. He's got the helmet. She's got the lightsaber. I think she's really cool. I really like Maz personally.
Maybe she's more a scholar of the Force rather than like an adherent or like a user of it.
My theory is that Maz and Snoke are actually arch nemesis. And
what?
I know. Like I said, I come up with weird little things.
That's my job on the podcast.
That's my job on the podcast.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Well, as far as Maz goes, I didn't have a feeling that she didn't fit. I actually really like how Heather was talking about how when you look at it, just kind of generally, Maz has the lightsaber, Snoke has the helmet, and both of them set their characters on certain paths. And so I feel like Maz is needed, to be honest, because she is really old. She talks about how she's seen the same eyes in different people, which kind of lends to that A New Hope feeling coming through the whole thing. She's kind of like the old sage, I guess, to be like, hey, here's your destiny, take it. You have this choice before you. Are you going to do it? I thought she was really important to the story. I felt like she really fit in very well.
But she disappears.
Well,
I was about to ask, did she die?
No, she's...
What happened?
Well, if she's somebody who's got, assuming that she has other artifacts, I doubt that the First Order is just going to wipe her out. Granted, she's not going to be able to go back home, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if she showed up in Last Jedi somehow.
I wouldn't either. I would love that too.
Maybe she has a secret escape tunnel or something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
She deals with smugglers, so
that's true. Yeah. And I believe she was supposed to be a pirate character who settled down and made a bar in the corner of the universe, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guess what? We'll find out in 30 days.
Yes.
See a common theme
all
here.
right. Okay. The guys from the raid are there for pretty much nothing.
That's
So let me
where they're from.
Yes.
I rewatched this on Sunday, and I'm like, I've seen these guys. Who are they?
So the raid is a Chinese movie. It's like a
Indonesian.
Thank you.
Yes.
Super awesome like action flick.
Mhm.
And JJ was so enamored by them that he wanted them in the film. And you're saying, okay, who are they? They're a Conja Club.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So what happens? They get eaten by big tentacle meatballs.
Yeah, they don't go out very well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like, it's kind of like having, I would say, like, I don't know, what would be a good, like, Aaron, like, I would say, like, Jackie Chan or, like, Jet Li in a Star Wars film, or even, like, what, who's the guy that played?
It's kind of like having, like, this great, like, movie, like, well-respected movie actor, like up there with the best, like...
What?
Yeah, or like, I don't know, like, just throwing it out there, Max von Sydow, and then he just kind of shows up for a little bit, and then he gets killed off. Oh, wait, that's the beginning of the movie.
Oh! Right, so, I mean, this is kind of like JJ being a fan of their work, but then they don't really apply any of the skills that brought them that fame or that fanboy in them. I
don't know, maybe they just wanted to be in a Star Wars movie.
I guess. Just like Daniel Craig as a stormtrooper?
Yep. And Michael Giacchino also as a stormtrooper.
Yes.
He composed the music for all of other J.J. Abrams stuff.
Yeah.
See, I would totally be down for that. Nobody needs to see my face. I would be like, hey, that one right there in that huge crowd? Yeah, that's me.
Guy that bumps his head? That's me.
That's me. That's not me. Okay. Here's one that I totally agree with, but I'll let you guys weigh in. How convenient was that chasm that saved Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Plot device.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. At the same time, I mean, I don't know, it comes to mind all is as the Force wields it. So I mean, even if it was a convenient plot device, which I'm pretty sure that's all it was. I mean, back to what Heather was saying. I mean, we can find things that maybe not necessarily be there in Star Wars, and that's the beauty of it. And I mean, what if that was the will of the Force at that time? What if there is more for Kylo? Because I mean, even in the book, I mean, I'm fairly certain that Snoke was trying to encourage Rey to kill Kylo.
Right.
So, I mean, if that's the case, and the Force was like, this isn't time. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of the theory I like to ride with.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? The one thing actually that this didn't bother me, it's I wish the planet just didn't blow up.
There's that.
Yeah.
I wish
blowing up was
it just
a bit
like
much.
Well, and the time from like, so you're telling me Phasma, Hux, and Kylo all got off before that thing blew up, and I'm like, that's no way. But of course, we know they're all in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So,
also, that was a really long 10 minutes. Like they're like 10 minutes till everything blows up. And then it's like 15 minutes later, 2 minutes till everything blows up. Then another 10 minutes, and then they're like, oh, it's blowing up.
It's like a passions arc.
Yeah.
Right. I would just, I mean, what a cool effect as they already bored into the planet to make this super weapon. But it would be cool if it did blow up in a sense that it just like somewhat cracked in half, or, and so it's like a dead planet instead of like, oh, it just went totally supernova and just exploded.
Right.
Like,
Well, the reason they did that in the book is if they just incapacitated the planet, then they could heal it or fix it or something of that nature. If they blew it up, that's the only way they could guarantee that it could never be used. Heather,
I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
You're not going to heal a planet.
You can if you sit there and it's a mechanized planet.
Okay. All right.
I'll save you though. It's
dug out.
I'll save you, Heather. What has the Starkiller Base been doing the past 10-ish minutes? It's been absorbing like Sunny D, the power of the sun.
Dark energy, actually.
And that's like, where's that all going to go?
It depends on whether you're doing the book or the movie. So I guess I'll just do the movie. Okay. So the sun, then nuclear fusion.
The book is like dark energy, basically. Yeah.
I really like the Starkiller Base in the book, but I'm not a big fan of it in the movie, personally.
Right. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's okay. It's just not.
Forget kyber crystals. We're going to soak up a sun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so cool in the book, though. It's just really, really awesome.
Okay, this one's a big one. So Luke and Han both ditch the rebellion and leave them to face the First Order alone.
I mean, they're old. They've done this before. They're probably not feeling it.
Same song, same dance.
Yeah, or maybe they just don't have the same confidence in the rebellion that they did before.
I kind of thought that the Empire kind of crawled away with their tail between their legs and became, did the First Order thing kind of back behind the scenes where, and slowly built their forces.
Did you guys read Bloodlines?
Not yet. I have it. I want it. I want to read it.
So
I'm trying to wait for the Holocron Book Club, and it's driving me nuts.
Okay.
It's like waiting for me to finish.
We won't
Fire
go
Squadron or Inferno Squad yet. We won't go there.
We won't go there. But I think Danny, she's trying to say like, hey, we gotta read more.
Chop, Buster Brown.
We can't read any faster. We've already been through 4 books, and yeah.
Bloodlines is really good, and it kind of talks about obviously Leia and the back history and stuff like that. And they get into the Force Order, so I'm not going to ruin that for you.
Good. Okay, I'm glad because I had an impression from something else. I don't remember, but I'm glad that I'll get more of an impression.
You'll get, but like basically, as we know it in the Force Awakens, the Resistance is not really part of the Republic or the Senate, and Leia's handling that self. But it does bring the question, like, if the Force Order is a threat, and we know they're, no one knew that they're building this huge planet, killer thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I find it hard that both the heroes from the rebellion just, leave. It just seems a little sketchy.
Yeah. It's selfish, but they're human.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them lost their son and then the other one lost their nephew. So. And all of their students.
But at the same time, I mean, they literally left Leia to just be like, hey, have fun.
Yep.
So, I mean...
Yeah.
Maybe she told them to get lost.
That's true. I mean, it's probably more probably what happened. Told them to get the walking carpet out of their way, all that kind of stuff. So, that's more likely. But, I mean, at the same time, like, I don't know. It did bother me that they were not actively involved. Because, like, I get that you've been doing this for years and you're getting old and... It's getting about that time, but I mean, Leia's still rocking it, and you guys just left out to cry. So, right? But yeah, so no, I did find a little fault with that as well.
Yeah. Okay. This is a big one too. Why did the Resistance send Rey to get Luke?
Because she's Force sensitive?
I don't know. Maybe. He'd be the most receptive to her.
Maybe.
I don't know. My theory is she's the one who's not essential to the Resistance. Like they've just had their secret base uncovered. They're probably busy trying to like pack up and leave town. In case like the First Order like sends a bunch of ground troops or an invasion or something like that. So
the First Order knows where they're at.
Yeah. So, they got to find some new digs. My theory is like she's not really essential, so she's just like, I'm just going to go, okay?
Do you think it could be anything with the lightsaber? that she has Luke's lightsaber, and maybe Leia's like, hey, you have this connection to it or something. I don't know. I'm throwing things together now.
I don't know. But if it was just a lightsaber, they could have sent like some squire or like a page to just go running up and message for you, sir. I don't know. It's just like for some reason my mind was on like Monty Python.
Here, squire,
and, like,
hold my sword.
Right. Yeah.
I was just thinking like Monty Python, like the guy like running up. And he's like, message for you, sir.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean but she's only there for a hot minute. I mean, she gets to the base and then she leaves right away. Leia gets a new outfit. She gets kind of a new outfit, and they go, leave Finn behind, and then she's gone. I mean, there's not a lot of time between by the time they land and the time they leave. I mean, it's a quick flip. I mean, yeah, you think she would have been like a kid at the candy store with like all the rebellion stuff that she's been idolizing for years.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Interesting. I don't know. Okay, here we go. If Kylo Ren is so keen to take his mask off all the time, why wear it at all?
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Because he can take his mask off. He spends all his time looking at that Vader mask that was his grandfather's prison, and so he's going to take it off when he can.
Oh man.
Wow.
I don't have an answer for you. Maybe it's like that kid in school who like got a fedora and thinks it looks great on him, and so he wears it all the time, even if it's not appropriate. Yeah. It's like, it's like, come on. It's like, dude, we get it.
Yeah.
Right. We get it, man. Okay. Your dad was awesome. You're not, or your granddad.
Your dad works at Nintendo. I get it.
Right.
We're all very impressed.
Okay, and last but not least, where are the Knights of Ren?
Lurking in the darkness. They are on their way, I think. I think we're going to get them in The Last Jedi. I really hope we do. Because the Praetorians look awesome, but I really want me some Knights of Ren.
Did we get bamboozled like we did with Captain Phasma?
Maybe. It could be that Snowchasm's doing something else because like Kylo's not ready to lead them yet. Or maybe he like blew it with some past responsibility. And Snoke's like, all right, we got work to do. In the meantime, I'm going to send these guys over here, go do something useful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still. Well, I mean, I guess they took out one of the main hubs of the old Republic, the New Republic. But I mean, it's possible they could still be out there destabilizing, kind of as the Inferno Squad is meant to in Battlefront 2 at different times. But at the same time, it could be that they're that type of enforcer, kind of like the Inquisitors in Rebels. It's kind of how I see them. So yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you have a problem and nobody else can help, and if you could find them, maybe you could call the Knights of Ren.
There you go.
Right. I are they fallen Jedi?
That would be interesting. Yeah. I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility.
I think that's kind of the leading theory, that they were disciples of Luke and who were turned away by Kylo. Kind of like Lucifer dragging a third of the angels down with him from heaven.
Yeah.
So who knows?
That's a good one, man. I like that one too. Yeah, I hope we get a little Knights of Ren, because I mean, obviously we got it in the trailer, and then we literally get it the same amount of footage. It's the same amount. There's not even any second more of Knights of Ren in the flashback, and then it's like gone. Also, that's when I went to the bathroom when the opening night.
Come on, man!
I literally, I was like, hold it? No, I had my big popcorn and my big soda, and
you got the refill.
You got the refill, and then like it's Maz's castle, and I'm like, oh, nothing's gonna happen here. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. And then I come back and my buddy P is right next to me. He's like, "You missed so much."
Oh no!
So obviously when I saw the second time, I'm like, here's all the flashback stuff that I was missing. I'm like, oh yeah. I went at I literally went right after when Finn's like, he's gonna go on the freighter or whatever, and then she hears the voice, and I went to the bathroom. I don't know what happened.
That's like clocking out when you see Luke like just wandering around getting lost in Cloud City. You're like, nothing's gonna happen here.
Yeah. Nothing's going to happen
later.
here, nothing's going to happen here. So, but anyways, yeah. All right. Well, that was a fun exercise. Thanks for entertaining us with, some of the dumb plot points and the Force Awakens.
That was a lot of fun.
So, yeah. All right. Moving on to the news of the week.
And now, the Star Wars news of the week.
All right, news of the week. All right, so leading off, this is hot. This is so hot.
Off the press.
It just happened. It
breaking
literally
news.
just happened. Yeah, this literally happened yesterday.
Yes,
all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Star Wars Battlefront 2. Tell us, Aaron, more.
Yes, so EA is developing Star Wars Battlefront 2. The first one was all right. Not amazing, kind of lacking content, whatever. But it wasn't a disaster. Oh boy, Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's not even out yet.
But it also came out by The Force Awakens, and now this one comes out for The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
No, nothing with EA is a coincidence. So here's what's happening. People like myself have played the alpha. You can go back to one of our episodes. We talk about that. And I noticed back then that they had something called loot boxes in them. Loot boxes are digital items that you earn that basically, it's kind of like opening a pack of trading cards. You never know what you're going to get. And it gives you certain items. These items, traditionally in games, have just been cosmetic things. They make your armor shiny. They change the colors. They might give you like an animation or whatever. Nothing that actually affects the gameplay. However, in the alpha, what they did, they gave you little boosts to some of your abilities. So the theory is you open up enough of these loot boxes, you get enough of these boosts, then you are on paper by the numbers better than somebody who has not gotten as many of those loot boxes. And I ranted about this. I warned everybody about this. Fast forward a couple months, go into the beta. Those loot boxes are still there.
They were.
And like just before launch, people are reporting, people have access to the game ahead of time. They're like, yeah, it's pretty bad. Loot boxes are everywhere. And now you need to get these loot boxes to get this certain currency in order to unlock heroes to play, including
Republic credits.
Yes, including little side characters like Luke and Darth Vader. You can't play with them after you've bought the game. You've got to unlock them. Mind you, this is a full price $60 game, not a free to play game. And guess how long it takes the average person to grind out enough credits through loot boxes to unlock these heroes? Any 40 wagers?
40 hours.
40 hours. That's a full-time work week. 40 hours of just playing nothing but online Battlefront 2 to earn enough credits to get these. And if that wasn't bad enough, you try to play any of the offline modes to earn credits. They cap them every 24 hours. So there's a hard limit to what you can earn there. But all the suffering will go away if you just pay more money to get more loot boxes, to get more credits, to get the heroes you want to play as. For a $60 game, some people are paying like the special editions like $80 or more. And you can't play as Luke or Darth Vader until you either face the grind or just give up and pay more money, which is ludicrous. So that came out, and EA, took to Reddit to do some damage control, and they basically gave a non-apology answer saying, "Hey, we value our passionate and driven community, and we're like tweaking the numbers, and we're going to be constantly going back to blah 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 PR nonsense." And
the internet lost their mind.
Internet lost their mind about this. They just downvoted like crazy. I think it peaked out around like 700,000 downvotes, which set Reddit history by a country mile. Like nowhere even close has this been the most top voted comment. And apparently it was enough to scare the shareholders because people were canceling their pre-orders left and right.
Yes.
So EA ended up removing the button to cancel your pre-order from their website. You got to call them now, and people are reporting wait times of over an hour to get through to finalize their pre-order cancel. So lesson number 1, don't pre-order video games. Lesson number 2, oh boy, the Streisand effect is real. Like you will be downvoted to oblivion. Lesson number 3, EA basically responded to this debacle saying, hey, we listened to your feedback. They're trying to spin it to be positive about themselves, whatever. They're like, we listened to your feedback. We tweaked the numbers. We reduced the credits that you need to unlock these characters by 75%, leaving out the fact that they also reduced the rate at which these credits drop. So, yes, it's a disaster. Unmitigated human disaster.
Yeah.
So
anyway, yes.
This is anti-consumer practices to the extreme. I hope this game fails. Knowing EA, it probably won't. People are going to buy it anyway. They're going to make back a ton of money, and they'll just move on to the next one.
Well, now that you're talking about, so we actually got the deluxe edition.
What? No.
Both of us did. We were playing it last night at launch.
Nice.
So I mean, as far as the credits goes, I mean, right now, us playing, I think we played a total of like 2 hours or about an hour and a half, something like that. I mean, the credits you earn doing like Galactic Assault and stuff like that seems to be pretty quick. And it may have been because there were credits involved in the pre-order bonuses. Because I didn't calculate that.
You were just happy you got to play Yoda.
I mean, I was happy about Yoda. But I mean, as far as like the credit issue, though, I don't know if it was something with the pre-order bonuses that you got extra credits. I don't remember getting credits in those loot crates. But at the same time, you did? Okay. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that may have been where most of that money came from then. Because I remember looking at the end of the night when we were done, and I was like, oh man, I'm like 1,000 away from getting Luke Skywalker. But I mean, we haven't really gone on the grind yet. I really hope that it's not bad. You've got me really worried right now.
Oh man, I mean, okay, so if this game was free, like whatever, I wouldn't care because like somebody's got to pay for the game. If you're not going to pay, like the price you pay is time and whatever, I don't care. But this is a $60 game. Deluxe editions, $80, like collector's editions, $100, and then they're gonna, nickel and dime you after that for as much as they can squeeze out of you. And it's like, I just want to be Luke. I just want to be Darth Vader. I paid for this game. Why is this thing that came with the game, why can't I get to it yet? It's beyond reason.
Well, see, and I feel like it should have been more of with the characters, like unlocking them by story or something like that. Because, I mean, it's all supposed to be across a whole bunch of eras. That's how most places or most games do it. So I understand why that should be a stretch.
Right. I would say like if you beat it on expert, you would get Darth Vader or something like that. Like make it a challenge, not just like, 40 hours and 60,000 credits later you have to get it. So I'm the sucker that pre-ordered and got the deluxe as well. So but I'm okay with it. I like it so far. I'm good. I'm good.
And let me be clear, like if you've pre-ordered this game, if you want to spend your money on this game and you genuinely enjoy it, like I'm happy for you. In fact, I'm envious because I wish I could just, enjoy these kinds of things, but I can't. I have no hard feelings towards you. I can't tell you how to spend your money. This is the kind of thing where, a generation ago, you just put in a cheat code and you'd like unlock smoke or like reptile in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But it's like
it's the mobile gaming. That's what it is. Mobile gaming. You're free to play, but you have to spend real money to unlock a lot of cool stuff. And they're trying to bring those microtransactions into a regular AAA game, and it's a little much. So
a little much.
More. 40 hours a little too much, but we'll see.
They tried to spin it as like, oh, we want our players to have a sense of pride and accomplishment. And then they're like, oh, we just reduced the amount you need by 75%. this Reddit comment got to me. Like, somebody commented like, oh, man, I'm missing out on 75% of my sense of pride and accomplishment. I'm like, pack it up, go home. We can't do better than that.
Right. All right, so literally that's super hot, and that this will still unfold to the weeks to come.
Good news: the day the day this episode comes out, Wednesday, EA is having a live Reddit Ask Me Anything session. Oh boy, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
So tune in and watch the fun.
Yeah. But they're trying to save face because I mean this game's still coming out this week. I mean it came out Monday night, so yeah, need to make sure that they still get their money. So in other news, no big deal. Star Wars announced that Rian Johnson's going to direct 3 Star Wars films.
Hooray! They're not going to be Skywalker. That's the best news for me.
This kind of came out of nowhere too. So Danny, what are your thoughts on this, man?
I'm so excited about it. I mean, I like the fact that Lucasfilm already is like putting all this stock in Rian Johnson. Because I mean, from what I understand, he's already a great director. I haven't seen any of his other films, I don't believe. But the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is like, "Hey, we love The Last Jedi so much. Here's an entire trilogy for you." I mean, I think that speaks volumes. But I'm ready to see the Unknown Regions. That's what I'm really excited about. I'm so happy that it's not Skywalker.
Yes. That's the space you want is Unknown Regions.
Well, and that's the thing is that all of the canon novels are headed that way. All of the comics are headed that way. There's always something mentioned about the Unknown Regions and Wild Space. Definitely in the Thrawn book, it's the same way. And so that seems to be kind of the bug that they're putting in our ear of, hey, this is where we're going, because it says that it's from lore that's never been explored before. So that could just mean different story, but at the same time, I feel like they've got so much they could capitalize on there that I think that would be a missed opportunity if they didn't go to the Unknown Regions. Because I want to see the Chiss Ascendancy. I'm sure I'm not wrong.
All right. Heather, what do you think?
I'm in agreement personally. I like Wild Space and I like the Unknown Regions, but it's kind of cheating because me and Danny talked about this, so it's like we're kind of agree. But
gotcha.
That's why we have the same answers because we're
right.
She always copies my test.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
He's the smart one.
For me personally, this just makes me even more excited for Last Jedi.
Oh, yes. Me too.
It just basically it's saying Ryan's our next George Lucas.
Oh, I love that.
That's
huge too.
That's huge. And George, again, fanboys going to hate. George has his flaws, and a lot of some of the stories don't, all line up the way we would like it. But at the end of the day, he created a mythos and created a world that we're still talking about 40 years later. So
exactly,
if Ryan could do even half of that for this new, I mean, it's gonna be lights out. So I'm excited about that. And then they just drop, oh yeah, we're doing a live TV show too.
Like it's a passing thought. I mean,
there is a God,
right?
Yeah. See, now this is Danny. We were kind of talking about this too. I was commenting on your comment. This is where I think like the Old Republic would fit really nice into a TV show.
Oh man, me too.
Yes.
So this because it's smaller scale. You don't have a lot of technology pieces in there. I mean, it's still going to be sci-fi, still going to be Star Wars, but you could downplay it enough where you don't need a lot of these huge sets and ships and all this stuff. And it could be on a smaller scale. And I think that would really do well on a TV show.
Oh, I completely agree. And with Old Republic too, I think like kind of like a Game of Thrones style kind of story. I think would be awesome. Not necessarily going to the HBO streams, but but I mean, as far as like that who's on top kind of thing I just think it would be great. Because I mean, it's that ancient world that no one's ever seen. It's been only referenced a handful of times, if that. Then it only makes sense to me because I mean, we got a trilogy that's not going to be something that we're familiar with. It's lore that we've never heard of or places that we've never heard of. So why not go ahead and go back to the far reaches of the past, bring out our old Republic, and see what happens?
Yeah.
Well, and that's where my character's from, so I figure.
Okay. All right.
I'd love to have it canon so that I could have a character that's actually could live in canon.
Oh, cool. Now, are you saying this is like cosplay?
I have a personal character that's me in this Star Wars universe.
Oh,
very cool.
Excuse me.
I mean, it's like a D&D character, only it's Star Wars.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay. I like it. But
very cool. I will have a cosplay for it soon.
There you go. I mean, you have to complete the circle. You know what I'm saying?
I did get a lightsaber for it, though.
There you go.
My first lightsaber.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
I just want to add one thing about the TV show.
Yes.
The price we pay, it's going to be on Disney's TV streaming service. Whatever that looks like. For better or for worse.
Yeah. For better or for worse. Yeah.
So, hang on to your wallet.
Yeah.
So you go through all the trouble of cutting the cable and then they gouge it back up to where you're paying cable.
Disney gonna get you.
Yeah. Aaron, I just sense this thing about money.
Dude, I'm feeling the squeeze, brother.
Feel the squeeze. Exactly.
Full-time student, you bet.
Right. Aaron, you want to walk us out?
Yeah. So, for our listeners, once again, thank you for listening to yet another episode of WSTR Podcast. Thank you very much for our special guests, Danny and Heather from the Kessel Run Weekly. It's been an absolute pleasure and joy to have you on.
We had such a great time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on. We love your show.
Awesome. So,
we'll slip you the 50, after the show.
Out the door, yeah.
You said 100. You cannot cut it in half now.
He told Danny 50. Oh, boy.
Right. Pray I don't alter the deal further.
This is getting out of hand.
All right. So once again, check us out on social media, WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. We want to hear from you, so please comment, tweet, rate us on iTunes. You can email us at wstrpodcast@gmail.com. And we have a voicemail option now. You can call in on any conventional or mobile phone, 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Leave us a voicemail, and this way you can get in touch with us, and we can play it on an upcoming podcast. We can make you somewhat famous. So now you know all the ways to get a hold of us. So, Heather and Danny, where can listeners find you and the Kessel Run Weekly?
Absolutely. They can find us on our website, mainly, kesselrunweekly.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Kessel Run Weekly. We've got shows out every single week. We're also on YouTube, Kessel Run Weekly. So definitely check us out there, guys.
Wonderful. Once again, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Now, this is podcasting.
Yay!
We did it.
We
tore apart The Force Awakens, tore apart Battlefront 2. What's next?
Yeah. You're an angry elf, man. You're an angry elf.